Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle from Washington tonight. This is a Fox News alert. DOJ sources are telling Fox News Digital that former CIA Director John Brennan and former FBI Director Jim Comey are now both under criminal investigation. What would be for potential wrongdoing related to the Trump-Russia probe. We have more on this later. But first, ambushing America. That's the focus of tonight's angle. The eyes always tell the story. These are the suspects arrested and charged with attempted murder of a federal law enforcement officer after they spent their 4th of July allegedly ambushing officers at the Prairieland ICE Detention Center in Alvarado, Texas.
This was part of an organized attack. It was a planned ambush with the intent to kill ICE corrections officers. Make no mistake, this was not a so-called peaceful protest. It was indeed an ambush.
Tonight, we're getting stunning new details about how they did it. They were clad in black tactical gear. The complaint says the group lured DHS corrections officers outside by shooting fireworks at the detention center building. So agents called 911, and then they went outside to investigate and talk to the suspects. A few minutes later, an Alvarado police officer arrived on the scene. The moment he stepped out of the car, a gunman who was hidden in the woods opened fire, struck him in the neck. At the exact same time, another gunman started shooting at the DHS officers. 20 to 30 rounds from an AR-15 style rifle were shot. Those officers are all blessed to be alive tonight. A jammed AR-style rifle was found at the scene. Now, imagine how many could have been murdered. So what motivated these suspects? Like Cameron Arnold of Dallas, Texas, a.k.a. Autumn Hill, or Savannah Batten of Fort Worth, Texas. She was previously arrested for obstructing a highway during another deportation protest back in 2018. Then there's Nathan Bauman. Look at his eyes. College Station, Texas. Per the complaint, he was carrying spray paint and flyers saying, "Fight ICE terror with class war and free all political prisoners." Then there's Zachary Evitz of Waxahachie, Texas. Per the complaint, Evitz's car was spotted fleeing the scene with other suspects in it. He was later found walking along the road about 3 miles from the ICE facility. Police searched him, and they found a black balaclava, a mask, a pair of tactical-style gloves, and a pair of safety goggles. An officer asked Evitz where he was coming from, and he said, "I do not know," or words to that effect. Then there's Joy Gibson of Dallas, Texas. The complaint says that she had 2 cell phones in the backpack inside a Faraday bag, which is used to prevent law enforcement from tracking location information. Then there's Bradford Morris of Dallas, a.k.a. Megan Morris. Per the complaint, Morris's house was used as a staging location before the ambush. Police recovered 9 additional firearms, 3 body armor vests, cans of spray paint, and fireworks. Then Elizabeth Soto and Inez Soto, both of Fort Worth, Texas. There's Marcela Rueda, also from Fort Worth, and Seth Sykes of Cannondale, Texas. They were found after fleeing the scene with a few other suspects that I mentioned earlier. Now, the complaint says they were all dressed in this black military-style clothing, like make-believe soldiers. Some had body armor, some covered in mud, some armed. Some had a banner found by one of the officers that read, "Resist fascism." And this is the favorite, "Fight the oligarchy." Now, where have we heard that before?
This fascist administration didn't come from anywhere. They have planted the seeds for years.
We've got to defeat the oligarchs and the dictators that are trying to take over our country.
Do we have the guts to stand up to Trumpism and oligarchy and authoritarianism? We say yes.
And tonight I say all of them have blood on their hands. And shame on Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer for not getting their members under control. Those demented fake soldiers who were arrested, dressed in that tactical gear they probably ordered on Amazon, probably don't even know the meaning of oligarchy. I'm certain they don't know the real history of fascism. But it's reasonable to conclude, is it not, that they feel obligated, maybe even entitled, to get violent, even to commit murder, because they're acting on unofficial implied orders.
The rhetoric has to stop. They're simply enforcing law that Congress enacted. So for Congress to attack them to enforcing the laws they wrote, it's ridiculous, and it's going to end in bloodshed. And I think there will be more bloodshed.
Now, this is the second ambush in only 4 days in Texas. In McAllen, it ended with the assailant being taken down, another deranged anarchist soaked in online violence.
He spent a lot of time on Call of Duty, a video game, and one of the people that's in that game is an anarchist. He was playing the anarchist. What he had spray painted on his car was associated with that. So this is a plan he had. His plan was to kill Border Patrol agents.
And today, another suspect, 43-year-old Matthew White. He was arrested in New York after posting multiple specific online threats against immigration officials, including against an ICE official in Virginia. And get this, and against his children. I'm not going to read this sicko's threat, but it's on the screen. Now, for years, Biden, Harris, Pelosi, Schumer, Schiff, the Squad, all of them railed about Charlottesville and tiki torches and veins bulging on foreheads. Democrats and the media painted anyone, and I mean anyone, who showed up for Trump on January 6th as a terrorist. Just rot in jail. So where are those same people now? Where are the Democrats? Where's the chorus of condemnations? Where is the demand by leadership to tamp down on this rhetoric? Why are they not holding press conferences to distance themselves from the hate speech and the hateful actions, the violence that they claim to care so much about? The truth is, the eyes of these fanatics, the actions of these domestic terrorists, are 100% inspired by false narratives peddled by the press and Democrats at all levels of government. This is an ambush, not just of ICE, but of America. Because part of their plan, and this is just a small step toward that plan, is to try to dismantle the country we all love. And sometimes the anarchists are stupid enough to speak the quiet part out loud, like former University of Minnesota professor Melanie Yazzie.
Help to lead that, to be the tip of the spear here of all liberation struggles and the movements that seek a world of justice, equality, and peace, that seek to dismantle the United States. I hope you seek to dismantle the United States. And if that isn't your politics, okay?
Psycho. Now let that sink in. They will not stop ambushing ICE and Border Patrol because they intend to ambush America. And that's the angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.